Well, in another day where the cryptocurrency market seems to just decide we're not going to pump, $100,000 rejected, and Bybit gets hacked for $1.4 billion worth of Ethereum. What is going on? We'll break down exactly the Bybit hack, why you need to be keeping an eye on it, and ultimately who's doing it. What repercussions does it have for the cryptocurrency market? All of that in this video. If that's something you like the sound of, then make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We cover cryptocurrency news, reviews, technical analysis, and all the latest projects right here every single day. With that being said, let's get into this video. Okay, I thought this was probably the best place to start. The Ethereum chart taking a huge dump today. Obviously, we retested the upper range on Bitcoin of around 100,000. Ethereum doing the same, around 2837, about 2840, and then a massive correction. Over the course of about 4 or 5 hours, we dumped all the way down to 2,630. Now, that in itself isn't the worst correction we've ever seen. And in fact, we saw a little bit of a pushback to the upside. But what is going on? Well, you'd have to have been sleeping under a rock until you realize that the Bybit hack happened. This was a $1.33 billion hack on a Bybit cold wallet. Now, there is some definite questions as to exactly how the hackers did it. And the rumor mill and equally Ben Zhao, the CEO of Bybit, given a view that the multi-sig wallet, that confirmation that secures transactions, that is meant to be a secure element to any of these cold wallets, failed. Whether that was them failing, whether that was negligence, we're not 100% certain, but in his own words, they signed a multi-sig agreement that allowed ultimately the hackers to drain the entire cold wallet. Now, just to understand how big this actually is, cold wallets are generally used as the main storage. This was actually 70% of the Bybit entire Ethereum holdings, which is absolutely insane. And the fact that it could simply be through a hack. Now, we on my live stream determined that it was a $90 USDT transaction that went through that was confirmed by the multi-sig wallet, allowing them access to $1.33 billion worth of Ethereum. Kind of crazy to think about. But what ultimately now has happened though is that's been distributed to about 52 wallets. They haven't sold yet. And I do want to reference that. They haven't actually sold any of their cryptocurrency yet, which is interesting. Now, there's a couple of reasons as to why. One is that when they sell, there has to be an element of it going back to either fiat or a stable coin through maybe an exchange or a decentralized exchange, at whichever point somebody would know those wallets are there, they can freeze the assets. But furthermore to that, we actually have heard North Korea allegedly claiming responsibility. The Lazarus Group, now this was found by Zach XBT as he's worked through this to link it to a number of scams that's happened before. But as of right now, the only reason the market has taken a dump is because people are fearful. We've actually seen over 4,000 transactions out of Bybit in Ethereum. Now, again, the team over at Bybit say that everything is okay. They can, they can facilitate those transactions. They've actually had a number of Ethereum donations put in, or certainly bridge loans put in by people like Binance, Qcoin, Coinbase, and many others. So as investors, I think your funds are okay, but this is again another example as to why you shouldn't keep huge amounts of money on those exchanges. Where it starts to get very interesting though is looking at the wallet, and this is actually the wallet that went in. You can see here just above my head, this was the $90 transaction that went through specifically from the hack wallet. Then they drained, as you can see here, $1.14 billion worth of Ethereum, and then followed it up with the Lido DAO staked Ethereum of 256.36 million. The question here is that they were able to extract so much and unstake the Ethereum on the Lido DAO network, which is kind of crazy. And like we said, that's then distributed out into a number of different wallets, which you can see down here. Now, recently, there was a $42.29 million transaction that just happened 20 minutes ago. We're not totally sure what that is, but you can see here, $27.24 million transferred into a number of different wallets. I can confirm that it is just sat in those wallets. So the debate right now is to exactly what are they going to do with it? And more importantly, when? And I think that is what everyone's on their mind. Now, like we said, the North Korean Lazarus Group adopted a new method of breaching crypto firms, sending cryptocurrency to their targets as part of the elaborate social engineering scheme. This is the $90 USDT that we were talking about. So say Lazarus hackers make hundreds or even thousands of dollars in direct payments to their victims in advance just to gain the victim trust. These payments are designed to make the attacker seem legitimate, increasing the likelihood of victims complying with their request. So what this kind of tells us is that over a period of time, those multi-sig wallets, that the cold wallets, the main storage for Bybit, have been sent little mini transactions, and they've confirmed them, they've accepted them, or they've certainly been negligent as to the reason as to why they've gone through. This is insane to me. Again, if you've got $1.39 billion worth of Ethereum, you probably want to check that a couple of times. Again, though, this has gone through and is the biggest hack in history. So I guess the question now is, what happens next? Well, Ethereum actually starting to push back up a little bit. Bitcoin holding around 96,000 back into this trading zone that we've been talking about for so long. So the reality here is that if everyone just takes a breath, yes, we know there is $1.33 billion that's sat with a group of hackers. They have to find a way to convert that back into either fiat or a more usable cryptocurrency. And as of yet, we aren't seeing that. But that doesn't mean that that's not going to happen. We do obviously need to be mindful of it. But Ethereum actually holding up 2,600. We're back to kind of the lows that we saw back in 18th of February. Again, not too crazy 3 or 4 days ago, but another chink in the armor, a stab in the back, if you will, for the cryptocurrency market and its bull run potential. But there is still a ton of catalysts. This, for me, is just a setback, and one of which I think we just need to be aware of and move on. What's important, though, is understand here that the hackers decided they were going to buy $268 worth of Bybit. That's my token that I've launched. Check out the links in the description if you want to get involved in that. We just announced and rewarded our holders again. Nearly $1,000 already into our holders over the course of a 2-week period. That looks like it's going to be about $10,000 over the course of the month. If that's something that sound of, and you're interested in making your cryptocurrency work for you and not get scammed by some scammers, then make sure you join Bybit's Telegram and equally go and grab yourself a bag. All the links to that in the description. But Bybit look like they're going to be not a concern. Insolvency, not on the discussion table, but a $1.3 billion mistake for a $90 transaction. Pretty wild if you ask me. Let me know what you think of all of this in the comments down below. Did you get affected by the Bybit hack? And until next time, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you soon. Take care.